everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. My name is Samantha Genzer, and I'm going to be your show host for you guys today. My dog was barking in the background, so I got a little distracted and was not able to pronounce podcast. Sorry about that. But now we're on. We are very excited. We have a very exciting episode for you guys. We're going to be covering the race for the NWSL MVP title, PWHL updates, preview of the Amundi Evian Championships, the surfing roster for the top Olympic teams, and make sure you guys stay till the end of the show to hear about the cycling and BMX rosters for Team USA in the Olympics. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. This also puts your questions and comments at the top of the list, because we do get a lot of questions and comments that come from viewers during the show. So to ensure your questions get read on the air and you get that fun little interactive aspect of the GSMC Sports Network, use that link, gsmcpodcast.net. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Don't forget it, but I will be repeating it later. So now that we got that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. I'm excited to talk about everything going on today. We have a lot of Olympic stuff to cover, and y'all know that's like my favorite thing to talk about. So before though, we are starting our episode by talking about the race for the MVP title in the National Women's Soccer League, or NWSL. It is almost the halfway point for the NWSL season, and the league will shut down the regular season for the next 6 weeks while the U.S. women's national team competes in the Olympics. So this makes it, I feel like, a good time to talk about the NWSL MVP tracker race, whatever you want to call it. Injuries are a factor in this. So there are some people that I would have on my list as possible MVPs, but because of injuries, they just don't have that high likelihood of getting the title, and that makes sense. Like, their MVP title would be affected. So in this segment, I'm going to give my top 10 players that I think have a solid chance of winning the MVP award. And yes, these are in order. I did the same thing for the WNBA yesterday, so check out that episode. I really recommend checking it out. So let's start with number 10, Sam Coffey. Coffey is a defensive midfielder for the Portland Thorns, and she has been really steady since the beginning of the season. Coffey is an all-around package of a central midfielder who doesn't necessarily wow you in any single way, but does everything consistently well, and the numbers support that. She is tied for 16th in the NWSL in shot creation and passing percentage. On the other side of the ball, she ranks tied for 6th in recoveries. Coffey effectively allows the Thorns to do all the things they want to do, serving as a facilitator in the middle of the park. At number 9, I have Rose Laville, a midfielder for the New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. Her form has been really solid these last few games. Much of the ebb and flow of her career has been dictated by injuries rather than isolated dips in form. Now she's on the rise again and meeting the moment as one of Gotham's main off-season signings. Lavelle is the team's co-leading scorer alongside Ellis Stevens, arguably the best value signing of the entire NWSL off-season considering her output, and she is driving Gotham's attack from central areas. Her goal against Angel City FC on Saturday was a wonderful team effort, capped by a world-class finish from Lavelle. At number 8, I have Marta. I feel like that's obvious, she's going to be on the list somewhere. Marta is a midfielder for the Orlando Pride. Marta is a 6-time World Player of the Year, but she celebrated Saturday's victory over Kansas City after scoring the game winner from the penalty spot with the kind of unbridled joy and a touch of anger, I'll say, that is driving this Orlando team forward. Yes, she is 38 years old, and her best years would seem like they would be behind her, given Orlando's struggles in past years. This year is also a completely different story. Marta ranks the top 10 in the NWSL for goals, assists, and chances created, and just outside that for passing percentage. Will she win the MVP award? Highly unlikely. I know, I have her at 8th, but still, and I would want her, obviously, to get the MVP award. I would be very happy if she got it, but it is highly unlikely since her team is like so amazing, and a lot of her teammates are being considered for the MVP title as well, like Barbra Banda, which we will talk about. Of course, she's on this list. We'd be remiss, however, if we didn't note that the Marta of 2024 looks like the Marta we all knew for the past 2+ decades, and I think that's what really stands out for her as a player. At number 7, I have Mallory Swanson, an attacking midfielder on the Chicago Red Stars. Swanson remains one of a handful of players in the league who can change results individually and in spite of how their team is playing. Swanson has scored in 4 straight games, helping the Red Stars earn 7 points along the way. She tallied a goal and an assist in the 2-2 draw with the then unbeaten Kansas City Current during that stretch. For both club and country, Swanson appears to be nearly back to where she left off before tearing her patella tendon, and I don't really know anatomy, I'm gonna be honest, guys, but she tore something. It wasn't good, okay? But she recovered, and she seems to be basically back to where she was before she hurt herself in April 2023 and ended up missing the World Cup. So she's on fire, and I feel like that's like not even an argument, like that's just a fact. At number 6, I put Trinity Rodman, a winger for the Washington Spirit. Rodman can create goals and tracks back to defend and put in the dirty work. Rodman ranks 2nd in the NWSL in chances created, key passes plus assists per True Media, and in the top 10 in the league in goals, assists, shots, and shots on goal. And that makes a huge difference because you can shoot a bunch, but can you shoot on target is the question. She also is among the lead leaders in aerial duels won and recoveries, which speaks to her defensive work rate. There are many reasons why the Spirit is so good this year, and I think that Rodman is a prominent reason why they are. My number 5 pick is Sophia Smith, a forward for the Portland Thorns. This is also very obvious. There's not been an MVP or Golden Boot race without Smith in recent years. So that's why I'm saying this is obvious, and that it remains the case for 2024. Smith's 10 goals this season rank 3rd in the league, and her 6 assists are tied for 2nd. She has added layers to her game by drifting into wider, deeper areas to get on the ball, as defenses have attempted to mark her or foul her out of games, but she continues to be as productive as ever. Smith is once again a major reason that the Thorns are in the hunt for the Shield and an NWSL championship. The number 4 pick I got here is Ashley Sanchez, a midfielder for the North Carolina Courage. Ashley Sanchez's impressive 2024 continued on June 29th with a game-winning goal against the team that abruptly traded her for the offseason, the Washington Spirit. It is the only time the Spirit have lost in their last 8 matches. Sanchez remains the focal point of North Carolina's attack, playing in between the lines of the number 9 and number 10 roles on any given day. She is brilliant on the ball and audacious with her decision-making. The Courage are quietly hanging around in the race for the home playoff game, in a large part because of Sanchez. The number 3 person I have is Croix Bethune, an attacking midfielder for the Washington Spirit. She's a rookie, so I'm so dang impressed by her. I mean, having anybody on this list, I'm super impressed by them, but Croix Bethune especially I'm the most impressed by because she's a rookie. Bethune's 9 assists this season are 3 clear of the next closest challengers. She has created 31 chances this season per True Media, tied for 5th in the NWSL. The Spirit are 3rd in the league and in the hunt for the NWSL Shield for a lot of reasons, Bethune chief among them. If you don't want to believe the numbers, take it from USWNT head coach Emma Hayes, who called Bethune into camp in June as a training player and was impressed enough to bring the attacking midfielder to the Olympics as an alternate despite being uncapped. That says enough as it is. You don't even need to look at numbers. Like that proves enough to me. At number 2 is Temwa Chawinga, winger for the Kansas City Current. Chawinga is high on the race for the NWSL Golden Boot. She's tied with Barbra Banda. She can single-handedly change games by doing the unexpected, like chasing down a loose ball that nobody else possibly could, dribbling the length of the field to create a counterattack, or flicking the ball over to a defender and to herself and hitting a shot with the outside of her foot, as she did against Orlando on Saturday. Chawinga is the game changer on a Kansas City team that has almost everyone firing on all cylinders. If there is one criticism of the 25-year-old, and it is a harsh one considering her output, it is that the final product is not always as precise as it needs to be. That's harsh considering her 12-goal output, but it is evident in some moments of indecision in front of the net, if that makes sense. Those are champagne problems to a degree, but that is the difference between first and second in the MVP race. So that leads us now to our first person I have on my list here. So finally, at number 1 is obvious, considering I'm a huge fan of hers, Barbra Banda, a forward for the Orlando Pride. Banda led the Golden Boot race for less than 2 minutes on Saturday when she put Orlando ahead of Kansas City in the big battle of the unbeatens. And although Chawinga pulled level again and arguably had the better performance of the day, Banda's efficiency and polished final product gives her the edge in this MVP race. Banda's 12 goals are equal to Chawinga's. They have 5 assists and 6 assists respectively, but they have come in 434 fewer minutes on the field. Banda is literally outperforming expectations with 12 goals from 2.87 expected goals, whereas Chawinga is scoring almost exactly as expected on a current team that has 40 goals through 16 games. Chawinga also has nearly twice as many touches on the ball than Banda. Both Banda and Chawinga are players who occupy their own space as individual talents in the NWSL. Right now, Banda is making the most of her opportunity. She's also a major reason the Pride remains unbeaten and atop the NWSL table, now 3 points clear of Kansas City after a 2-1 victory over the Current, while down a player on Saturday. But yeah, this is hard to explain, but the reason, especially for me, that I have Banda above Chawinga is because she was able to score 12 goals in less amount of games than Chawinga was able to score 12 goals. Like, she capitalizes on every single opportunity. She has that just natural gift to just like be motivated to take a goal. Like, she's always goal hungry. Chawinga is always goal hungry too, but Banda has just done it in less amount of games and less amount of minutes. So I feel like that says like a lot. Like, if she had the same amount of minutes as Chawinga, how many goals would she actually have? That's the question. Okay, so that concludes our segment on the MVP race in NWSL. And now we're going to move into the next segment where we talk about some PWHL updates. It's juicy drama, so I recommend sticking around for that. Before we get into that, we are going to take a short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the race for the NWSL MVP title, and now we're going to be talking about some professional women's hockey league, or PWHL news. We're going to talk about 3 things. 1, Minnesota firing 3 people. 2, resigning Claire Dalton to Montreal. And 3, Boston signing Emma Greco. So let's begin with Minnesota's firing drama. This is juicy drama. So PWHL Minnesota's effort to repeat as Walter Cup champions in 2025 will be guided by a vastly different cast of characters behind the scenes, as 3 more key figures in their title run from last season were fired on Monday. Assistant coach Jake Bobrowski, goalie coach Brenna Praderse, and skills consultant Johnny Siebel were all dismissed from their roles with the team. The fired trio of coaches was among a group of PWHL Minnesota employees who expressed support for since-fired general manager Natalie Darwis in what increasingly appears to have been a power struggle between her and head coach Ken Klee. In addition to coaching the team going forward, Klee has been in the acting general manager role since Darwis was dismissed. PWHL officials have acknowledged that they knew of the ongoing internal strife between Darwis and Klee prior to the PWHL playoffs. In April, the league officials sat down with several members of the team staff and players to get their insight on the differences of opinion. One former PWHL Minnesota employee said, quote, "I told them Ken is never receptive to any sort of suggestions and that he is extremely arrogant. Have you ever heard of a coach telling people to not come to the ice for practice because you are taking time away from the important girls that are playing? Why do you think players are retiring?" Unquote. PWHL Minnesota forwards Sophia Smith and Brittany Fleming announced their retirement following the 2024 season, which ended with Minnesota defeating PWHL Boston in 5 games for the inaugural league title. Darwitz, who put together the team and is credited with things like securing Excel Energy Center as their home rink and Shreya Rink as their practice facility, was fired just days after the team's championship celebration, attended by thousands of fans. It was very successful. Another source, who was formerly a part of the PWHL Minnesota organization, said the latest firings appear to be Klee consolidating his control of the team. Bobrovsky worked closely with Darwis on the women's hockey coaching staffs at Hamline University and the Minnesota Gophers prior to his work as an assistant coach for PWHL Minnesota last season. Paderze has worked with Minnesota State Mankato and is currently the men's hockey goalie coach for the Gophers. Why do I keep saying Gophers? The Gophers. Which he did last season in addition to his work with the pro women's team. The coaching staff changes have not been yet announced by PWHL Minnesota or the league office. As of Tuesday morning, photos of Bobrovsky and Paderze were still on the team's official website. Okay, in my opinion, the firing of assistant coach Jake Bobrovsky, goalie coach Brandon Paderze, and skills consultant Johnny Seibel, right after letting go of general manager Natalie Darwitz, definitely screams drama and a power struggle. From my perspective, Klee's actions seem like a classic power play. That's just what it seems like. I'm not saying that is what it is. By removing key figures who were close to Darwis, it seems like Klee is eliminating potential opposition and solidifying his own influence within the team. This move can be seen as a way to ensure that there are no dissenting voices that could challenge his authority or decisions. While consolidating power might make sense from a leadership standpoint, it's risky business. Klee's approach might streamline decision making, but it could also create an environment of fear and uncertainty. The sudden firing of coaches who were integral to the team's success could damage morale and disrupt the chemistry that helped the team secure the championship, which is what my biggest worry is. Also, firing Darwis does seem questionable, especially since she was pivotal in assembling the team and securing their facilities. Like, it seems like from the outside she did a great job and had been successful in her role. It makes you wonder if management is making the right calls, you know? Darwis was obviously a huge asset, and getting rid of her along with her supporters does seem like a risky move in itself. How PWHL Minnesota handles this turmoil will be crucial for their future. I feel like this is a definitely deciding fact. Might have a lot more influence than you think on their future, because if an organization is like struggling and has too many shakeups, like the entire team could just fall. You know, Klee's dual role as head coach and acting general manager could either stabilize or further destabilize the team. They need to find a balance between strong leadership and a supportive atmosphere to stay on top. But ultimately, this whole situation is pretty messy, and it might get even more messy. So now let's talk about some happier news. PWHL Montreal re-signed Flora Claire Dalton to a 1-year contract. This is good news. Okay, so we're back on like some happier news. Dalton registered 9 points, 5 goals, and 4 assists in 20 games during the league's inaugural season. The 24-year-old from Toronto also appeared in 3 playoff games. She was selected in the 12th round, 67th overall by Montreal during the 2023 PWHL draft. I was about to say like WNBA and PWHL at the same time. It just did not come out right. Anyway, so Dalton attended Yale University from 2018 to 2023. She served as a captain of the Yale Bulldogs during her senior year and led them to their first Ivy League championship, scoring the game-tying goal and overtime winner against Cornell in the final. She finished her collegiate career with 133 points in 130 games and is Yale's all-time leader in assists with 89. Claire Dalton is known for her offensive prowess. Her ability to score goals and set up plays will be crucial in bolstering Montreal's attacking lineup. Having a reliable and experienced forward like Dalton ensures that the team has a consistent threat on the ice, which can help in close games where offensive depth is necessary. Also, Dalton brings valuable experience to the team, both from her previous seasons with Montreal and her overall career. Her understanding and understanding at the same time. That was crazy. Her understanding of the game and leadership qualities will be instrumental in guiding younger players and maintaining team cohesion. Veteran presence is often vital in high-pressure situations such as playoffs, where her experience can calm nerves and inspire confidence in her teammates, and that's like the hope with bringing her in, of course. Dalton's skills are not limited to even strength play. She is also expected to make significant contributions to the special teams, particularly the power play unit. Her vision and hockey IQ allow her to create opportunities and capitalize on man advantage situations, potentially increasing the team's efficiency in converting power plays into goals. That's the hope. I also want to add that having a player who's already familiar with the team system and dynamics means there's no need for an adjustment period, and sometimes that can be a lot more negative than you think it is. Dalton's re-signing allows for continuity and team chemistry, which is essential for executing plays smoothly and maintaining an effective communication on the ice. Her established relationships with other players will help in maintaining a harmonious locker room environment. I love that word, harmonious. The third thing we got to talk about is that PWHL Boston has signed free agent defender Emma Greco, a Walter Cup champion with PWHL Minnesota, to a 1-year deal. Okay, so this is so random, but doesn't Emma Greco look like this one, I don't even know her name, this TikTok influencer who does like makeup and like does these crazy story times? She looks exactly like her, and like every single time I see pictures of Emma Greco, I'm literally like, wait, is she a makeup influencer? And we're all just like, not like, is this just like a secret? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so Emma Greco is a native of Burlington, or Ontario, and she played 22 games for PWHL Minnesota throughout the 2024 regular season, in addition to all 10 playoff games. Prior to the PWHL, the 29-year-old played 5 pro seasons, beginning in 2017 to 2018 with the PHF's Connecticut Whale, followed by the 2018 to 2019 campaign with the CWHL's Toronto Furries, and 2019 to 2020 as a member of the PWHPA. She played for the PHF's Toronto Six in 2021 to 2020 to 2021, and again in 2022 to 2023, where she won an Isabel Cup. Greco also played 4 NCAA seasons at Quinnipiac University, where she led the team in shots blocked at 72 during her senior year. As a graduate student, Greco also played women's soccer for the Bobcats, recording 1,019 minutes on defense in 15 games. PWHL Boston General Manager Danielle Marmer said, quote, "Emma is a steady, reliable defensive man with proven experience in this league. She was a part of Minnesota's Walter Cup winning team, so she knows what it takes to win in the playoffs. Her hard defending and simple puck-moving style is an identity we're expected to add to our D-Corps," unquote. And then Greco said, quote, "I am excited and grateful to be joining PWHL Boston. I know Boston is a sports city with incredible fans, and I'm looking forward to seeing them at their home opener," unquote. Signing Greco is a significant boost for Boston. Emma Greco brings a wealth of experience and skill to Boston's blue line, known for her strong play and strong defensive play in particular. Greco is adept at shutting down opposing forwards, blocking shots, and making smart plays under pressure. Her presence will bolster Boston's defense, making it harder for opponents to generate scoring chances. Also, having won the Walter Cup with PWHL Minnesota, Greco knows what it takes to succeed at the highest levels. Her championship experience will be invaluable in guiding Boston through tough situations, particularly in high-stakes games. She brings a winning mentality and the knowledge of how to navigate the pressures of a playoff run, and that is what this team definitely will need. One of Greco's strengths in her ability is her ability to transition the puck from defense to offense smoothly. Her vision and passing skills can jumpstart the team's breakout plays, leading to quick transitions and counterattacks. This will add an extra dimension to Boston's game, hopefully, allowing them to turn defense into offense more effectively. So we're now going to move into the next segment where we talk about, where we preview the Amundi Evian Championships. Before we dive into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We're just going on talking about PWHL drama with Minnesota firing some important staff members and Boston and Montreal signing 2 new players. Or not new players, but 2 players. So we're now going to talk about women's golf. We're going to be previewing the Amundi Evian Championships. So the Amundi Evian Championship started today. It will go until the 14th at the Evian Resort Golf Club in France. I did a little preview of the competition during the July 4th episode, so I recommend you guys go check that out. So in this episode, I will be doing another preview, not the same information, obviously, but with, different information, of course, and some new things to keep in mind and more things focused on today. So let's begin. There's a lot to get through. The Amundi Evian Championship is the 4th major of the 2024 LPGA Tour season, and it is taking place in France. A share of an $8 million purse and $650 race to the CME Globe are up for grabs. The field is pretty dang great, with 9 of the top 10 in the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings competing, as well as 11 of this year's LPGA Tour winners and 12 2024 Ladies European Tour champions. The Amundi Evian Championship is celebrating a milestone this season, as this week marks the 30th playing of the championship. The tournament, which began in 1994, was played for 5 years as an event on the LET schedule, and beginning in 2000, the tournament became a co-sanctioned event on both the LET and LPGA circuits, so it became a lot more interesting then. In 2013, the tournament was elevated to major championship status, and this year celebrates its largest purse to date, as it increased to $8 million this season. The winner on Sunday will take home $1.2 million in addition to the Amundi Evian Championship trophy. $1.2 million for one person is insane. The Amundi Evian Championship is a co-sanctioned event with the Ladies European Tour, like I said, which means players from both the LPGA and LET make up the field. Allie Ewing will be someone to watch as she heads to Evian as one of the hottest players on the LPGA Tour in recent weeks. Wow. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I say things in my head, it sounds right, and then I repeat it out loud, and I'm like, that's not what I meant to say. But anyway, so Allie Ewing is someone to watch. The American hasn't finished outside the top 5 in her last 4 starts, and will look to ride that momentum into this week's major championship, where she has missed the cut in 2 of her last 3 appearances. Ewing's fellow American Lilia Vu will also be a player to watch, as she's enjoyed a stellar return to competition since stepping away to rehab a back injury in April. After returning in June, Vu won the Mayher LPGA Classic for Simply Give and finished runner-up at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Vu is making just her 3rd start at the Evian Resort, and her best finish in this championship came last season, as she tied for 42nd. Charlie Hull, who withdrew from last week's LET event after saying she had taken a fall, will make her return to competition at the Amundi Evian Championship. 6 players were extended sponsor invitations, including former Louisiana State University standout Ingrid Lindblad, who will compete in her first major championship since turning professional earlier this summer. Lottie Wove, the winner of the 2024 Augusta National Women's Amateur, was also given an invitation, in addition to 2024 NCAA individual champion Adela Cernasik and a JGA winner Yana Wilson. Nelly Korda will be returning to professional golf for this competition as well. She had some recent challenges to her life outside the course. She made an announcement on social media that she had been bitten by a dog following her missed cut at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And after getting bit, she withdrew from the LET's event in London, the Aramco Team Series. So, coming back to this competition, she will be looking to get her game back on track in France after missing the cut in her last 3 starts in the US Women's Open, Mayor LPGA Classic, and the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. So, let me break down the field just a little bit more. The past champions of this competition are Celine Boudier in 2023, Brooke Henderson in 2021, Minjee Lee in Brooke Henderson in 2022, sorry. Minjee Lee in 2021, and then there was no one in 2020 because they didn't have the competition because of COVID. But in 2019, Jin Young Ko was a champion, Angela Stanford was a champion in 2018, Anna Nordquist in 2017, In-Ji Chung in 2016, Lydia Ko in 2015, and Hyo Jo Kim in 2014. The 2024 LPGA Tour winners competing at this championship are Hannah Green, who won the HSBC Women's World Championship and JM Eagle LA Championship, Lydia Ko, who won the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions, Nelly Korda, who won the LPGA Drive-On Championship, FIR Hills Sari Pack Championship, Ford Championship, T-Mobile Match Play, the Chevron Championship, and the Mizuho Americas Open, Linnea Strom, who won the ShopRite LPGA Classic, Bailey Tardy, who won the Blue Bay LPGA, jeez, I'm so sorry guys. Patty Tamananakit, who won the Honda LPGA Thailand, Athai Thidako, who won the Dow Championship, Lilia Vu, who won the Mayher LPGA Classic, Amy Yang, who won the KPMJ Women's PGA Championship, and finally Rose Zhang, who won the Cognizant Founders Cup. The 2024 Ladies European Tour winners that are competing are Manon De Roe, who won the Investec SA Women's Open, Perrine Delacour, who won the Dormy Open Helsingborg, Alexandra Fosterling, who won the Tampa Aramco Team Series and Amundi German Masters, Lynn Grant, who won the Volvo Car Scandinavian Mix, Hyo Jo Kim, who won the Korea Aramco Team Series, Marta Martin, who won the Tip Sport Czech Ladies Open, Leanna McGuire, who won the London Aramco Team Series last weekend, Marta Martin, oh wait, I just said her right, yeah, I'm pretty sure, Morgan Matrow, who won the Jabra Ladies Open, Chiara Tamberlini, who won the Joburg Ladies Open, Shannon Tan, who won the Magical Kenya Ladies Open, and finally, Patty Tambatanakit, who won the Aramco Saudi Ladies International. The 2024 LPGA Tour rookies competing are Trintat Chenglap, Alexandra Fosterling, Savannah Greenwald, Natalia Guseva, Jinhee M, Austin Kim, Somi Lee Hiranavid, Anna Palaez Trinvino, Gabriela Ruffles, Mai Sego, and Eugene Sung. The 2024 LET rookies competing are Perrine Delacour, Natalia Guseva, Allison Lee, Alexa Pano, Chiara Tamberlini, and Shannon Tan. So let's talk about some of the featured groups at the Amundi Evian Championship. So like I said, the championship has already started. So some of the groups have completed their first rounds, and we're just gonna preview some of them. So I recommend going back and watching them, of course. I have yet to watch how everybody did today, but I will be watching that after this. So anyway, so at 7:48 a.m., the group that was scheduled to tee off were Lydia Vu, Lydia Ko, and Charlie Hull. So Lilia Vu is making her third start at the Amundi Evian Championship, looking to improve on her previous miscut and T42 finish. This is her 10th start of the 2024 LPGA Tour season after a 2-month hiatus for a back injury. She won the Mayor LPGA Classic, like I said earlier, upon her return, and tied for second at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Vu ranks highly in several LPGA Tour statistics, including 8th in strokes gained total and 13th in strokes gained putting. Lydia Ko, continuing her Hall of Fame quest, has had significant success at this venue particularly, winning her first major here in 2015 and earning 6 other top 10 finishes. This is her 13th event of the 2024 LPGA season. She captured her 20th tour victory at the season-opening Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions and has earned 2 other top 5 finishes. Ko ranks 11th in strokes gained total and 14th in strokes gained around the green this season. Charlie Hull, in her 11th Amundi Evian Championship, seeks her first major major victory. She finished tied for third here in 2022, and this is her 11th start of the 2024 season with 6 top 20 finishes, including 2 in major championships. Hull ranks 3rd in strokes gained driving and 7th in strokes gained tee to green this season. At 12:36 p.m., Celine Boudier, Brooke Henderson, and Minjee Lee teed off. Celine Boudier is defending her title as the first French player to win the Amundi Evian Championship. This is her 15th start of the 2024 season with 6 top 20 finishes. She ranks 19th in strokes gained around the green and approach. Brooke Henderson, who won this championship in 2022, has had a successful 2024 season with 6 top 10 results and 15 starts. She ranks in the top 20 in major strokes gained categories and is second in rounds under par and birdies. Minjee Lee, who won her first major at this venue in 2021, returns for her 10th start at the Amundi Evian Championship. She has 4 top 15 finishes in 2024 and ranks first in strokes gained approach and third in strokes gained tee to green. And then finally at 1 p.m., Nasa Hadiko, Rose Jean, and Hannah Green teed off. Nasa Hadiko is making her 16th start of the 2024 season with 3 top 10 finishes. She ranks 13th in strokes gained tee to green and 14th in strokes gained approach. Rose Jean, who finished tied for 9th here last year, is making her 12th start of the season. She has 2 wins and 2 other top 10 finishes in 2024. Jean ranks 2nd in strokes gained approach and 4th in strokes gained total. Hannah Green, a multiple-time winner this season, is looking to add another major to her resume. This is her 12th start of the season with 2 wins and a 2nd place finish. She ranks in the top 20 in major strokes gained categories. So we're now going to take a short break before moving into our 4th segment of the day, where we talk about Olympic surfing roster for Spain, USA, Australia, South Africa, Brazil, and Japan. So I will see you guys all very soon after the short little break.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done previewing the Amundi Evian Championships that started today, and now we're going to talk about Olympic surfing. So we're going to talk about how people qualify for the Olympic team and then to the Team USA roster and some other country surfers. And I wanted to talk about how people qualify because I literally don't understand the qualification process for certain sports in Olympics. So I need to figure this one out because it's not just one trials and then everyone's good to go basically. So it gets a little confusing. So I needed I don't know, this is for me to explain for myself, but also if y'all are interested in how people qualify, we're just going to talk about this briefly. So the qualification period for surfing happened over several phases. It starts at the 2022 World Surfing Games, where the highest ranked national teams for men and women earn a quota spot for their country. This was the first of 2 ways that the countries could earn a third quota spot for either gender. Then at the 2023 World Surf League Championship Tour rankings, which, take place from January through September 2023. The top 10 men and top 8 women in the season-long rankings qualify directly for the Olympics with a limit of 2 men and 2 women per country. So, say if, in the top 8 women, there's, 1 person in the U.S. and then, the rest 7 are from Japan, then, you can only take the top 2. From Japan, and then you have to expand to I don't know, the top 20 and get all the other countries until you get 8 women from in total as the top, if that makes any sense. I don't even know if that made any sense. But anyway, and then among athletes who were not qualified yet, the highest ranked eligible man and woman from each continent at the 2023 ISA World Surfing Games qualify directly for the Olympics that way. In total, 4 men and 4 women qualified this way this year. The same thing happens at the 2023 Pan American Games, and then at the 2024 ISA World Surfing Games, the top eligible men and top 8 eligible women qualify for the Olympics that way. Furthermore, the highest ranked men's and women's national teams earned a 3rd spot for their country, and then lastly, 1 spot is reserved for 2 surfers, 1 man and 1 woman from countries with historically small Olympic delegates, and this comes like in the form of an invitation. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but it did in my head, so I'm hoping that made sense. So now let's talk about Team USA Surfing, their team, their roster. I love watching the surfing competitions because they're so cool, and I don't understand how they have that insane balance. So I'm like very excited to watch the Olympic surfing. So first up, Caroline Marks. Fresh off winning her first world title last year, 22-year-old Caroline Marks enters this year's Olympic Games as a strong gold medal contender. Her 2023 season included a victory at the World Surf League stop in Tahiti, where the Olympic competition will take place. Marks narrowly missed out on a medal at the Tokyo Games 3 years ago, losing to Japan's Amaru Tezuki in the bronze medal heat. Also on the team is Carissa Moore. 3 years after winning the inaugural gold medal in women's surfing, Carissa Moore remains one of the favorites as she makes her return to the Olympics. Moore is 31 years old, and she's a 5-time world champion and finished second behind teammate Marks on last year's WSL Championship tour. After the 2024 Olympic Games, Moore has announced that she will step away from competitive surfing as she plans to start a family, though the Hawaii native left the door open for a possible return ahead of the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. So we'll see there. Lastly, Katie Simmers is on the USA team. By having the highest ranked women's team at the 2022 ISA World Surfing Games, the U.S. earned that 3rd quota spot for the Women's Olympic contest. That spot will go to 18-year-old Katie Simmers, a rising star in the world of surfing and a first-time Olympian. Simmers finished 4th in the 2023 WSL Championship Tour rankings, and her runner-up finish at the WSL stop in Tahiti satisfied the criteria for being awarded the 3rd spot on the team. She started the season off in winning fashion, emerging victorious at the prestigious Pipe Pro contest, which was held in February at Hawaii's Banzai Pipeline. Now let's talk about some other countries. Brazil was able to tie for the gold medal with the U.S. in the Tokyo Olympics, so let's talk about them next. So on the Brazil team, we will see Taina Hickle, Tatiana Weston-Webb, and Luana Silva. Hinkle had a strong season in 2022, finishing in 3rd place at the Los Cabos Open of Surf in Mexico. Weston Webb finished her 2016 season ranked 4th in the world. She won the U.S. Open of Surfing in Huntington Beach, California. In 2018, she finished 6th overall with a stand-up victory at the Vans U.S. Open of Surfing. And then in 2017, she had one of her best seasons, finishing 2nd overall in world rankings. She won the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro in Australia and reached the finals in several other events. In the Tokyo Olympics, Weston Webb finished in 5th place. She made it to the quarterfinals, but was eliminated by Japan's Amaru Tezuki, narrowly missing a chance to compete for a medal. Lastly, Luana Silva had notable performances in 2021, including a 2nd place finish at the Azores Airline Pros in Portugal and a 3rd place finish in the Sistre Revolution Central Coast Pro in Australia. So Japan finished in 3rd in the Tokyo Olympics, so let's talk about their team next. Shino Matsuda is the only person competing on their team. Matsuda won the World Surf League Junior Championships in 2019, and she won the 2020 All Japan Pro Junior Surfing Championship. In 2021, Matsuda had several strong performances, including a 3rd place finish at the Marizaki Shinnon Open in Japan and a 5th place finish at the ABANCA Galicia Classic Surf Pro in Spain. In 2022, she maintained her momentum, which consists in top 10 finishes, including a 2nd place finish at the White Buffalo Women's Pro in Japan. South Africa finished in 4th at the Tokyo Olympics. Sarah Baum is the only one listed on the roster, In 2019, Bomb had a breakthrough year, finishing the top 10 in multiple events. Her notable performances included a second-place finish at the Corona Durban Surf Pro and a third-place finish at the Port Stephens Toyota Pro in Australia. In 2021, she continued her strong form with several top 10 finishes once again, including a third-place finish at the Sister Revolution Central Coast Pro in Australia and a second-place finish at the ABA-NCA Patin Classic Galicia Pro in Spain. Lastly, in 2022, Bond had consistent performances, including a third-place finish at the White Buffalo Women's Pro in Japan and a fifth-place finish at the Martinique Surf Pro, further solidifying her status as a competitive surfer. The team that finished fifth at the Tokyo Olympics was Australia, and so the roster's up next. And on the team is Molly Picklum and Tyler Wright. In 2021, Picklum had a breakout year with multiple strong finishes. She won the Sister Revolution Central Coast Pro and finished second at the Sydney Surf Pro, helping her qualify for the 2022 Championship Tour. In 2022, she performed well in her rookie year on the WSL Championship Tour, securing a notable fifth-place finish at the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro. Lastly, in 2023, Picklum continued to build on her success with several top 10 finishes, including a second place at the Rip Curl Newcastle Cup and a third place at the MEO Pro Portugal. Tyler Wright, won her first WSL World title in 2016, and in 2017 she defended her title successfully, becoming a two-time WSL World Champion. In 2020, Wright made a remarkable comeback after a significant illness, winning the Maui Pro at Honolulu Bay. Lastly, in 2022, she secured a win at the Rip Curl Newcastle Cup, and in 2023, she remained a strong competitor with notable finishes, including a second-place finish at the Corona Open J Bay and a third place at the Roxy Pro France. The next team we're going to talk about is Spain, and on their team is Camila Kemp, Janere Gonzalez-Extabari, and Nadia Aristarbe. Camila Kemp had a strong year in 2018 with a third-place finish at the Caparica Pro in Portugal and a fifth-place finish at the Las Americas Pro Tenerife in Spain. And in 2019, she had a second-place finish at the Azores Airlines Pro and a fourth-place finish at the White Buffalo Women's Pro in Japan. Gonzalez-Extabari had a successful season in 2021 with a second-place finish at the Caparica Pro in Portugal and a third-place finish at the, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, Cabrario Las Americas Pro in Spain. I apologize for my terrible pronunciation and accents when it comes to Spanish. Anyway, so she continued to perform well in 2022, securing multiple top 10 finishes, including a fourth-place finish at the Azores Airlines Pro and a fifth-place finish at the Pantene Classic Galicia Pro in Spain. Lastly, Aristarbe had a standout year in 2019, winning the Pro A Coruña in Spain and finishing second in the Carapica Pro in Portugal. These results helped her gain recognition on the international stage. She continued her strong form in 2021 with several top 10 finishes, including a third-place finish at the MEO Visla Pro Ericeira in Portugal and a fifth-place finish at the ABA-NCA Pantene Classic Galicia Pro in Spain. Lastly, in 2022, she maintained her competitive edge, securing a second-place finish at the Caribura Glass Americas Pro in Spain and a fourth-place finish at the Azores Airlines Pro. So we're now going to move into the next segment where we talk about USA cycling and BMX teams for the Olympics. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the Olympic surfing rosters for Team Brazil, Australia, Japan, Spain, South Africa, and the USA. In this segment, we are going to be doing something similar to get you prepared to watch the Olympics. August is going to be very fun with the Olympics and the CrossFit Games, so a lot of stuff going on there. I'm very excited. So we're going to talk about all about cycling and biking, BMX, all of that. So first we're going to go over the track cycling USA team. So over the past 2 years, USA Cycling has been working to qualify teams for both men's and women's endurance and sprint events. For Paris 2024, the USA Cycling qualified riders in the women's team Pursuit, women's Madison, women's Omnium, and men's Omnium. Historically, USA Cycling has been a team to watch in the endurance track events. USA Cycling is looking to continue the decade-long streak of medaling in the women's team Pursuit at the Olympic Games. The 2024 U.S. Olympic track cycling team roster includes 3 returning Olympians and Olympic medalists, and that's for men's and women's, but we're obviously just focusing on the women's teams here. So 8-time world champion and Olympic champion Jennifer Valente will be taking the boards once again for her 3rd Olympic Games. The 3-time Olympic medalist is set to compete in all 3 women's track endurance events, Team Pursuit, Madison, and Omnium. Valente made history in Tokyo 2020, winning the country's first Olympic gold in the women's Omnium. A month later, she made history again by winning her first individual world title in the Omnium. The women's Madison was introduced to the Olympic programming in Tokyo 2020, and Valente will return to the event with partner Lily Williams. Williams was a part of the World Championship winning team Pursuit in 2020 and the Olympic team Pursuit bronze medal in Tokyo. She will return to the team Pursuit squad and compete in the Madison a few days later. Valente said, quote, "I'm excited to officially be named to my 3rd Olympic team. The Olympic Games have always been special to me, and this time around is just as captivating. The journey to Paris has been its own unique process with new challenges in this shortened quad. I'm thrilled to be lining up alongside long-standing teammates and some fresh face," unquote. And then Williams said, quote, "I'm thrilled to be selected for my 2nd Olympics in Paris. Tokyo was an experience of mixed emotions for me, and I channeled all of that into a ton of work, devoting my career to this sport and seeing what I could do. I'm thankful for everyone in my corner, especially my partner, Gavin, coaching staff, and my road team, Human Empowered Health, for supporting me and helping me always be honest with myself about my progression. It's thanks to all of this that I will now be racing 2 events in Paris, the Team Pursuit, and new to me, the Madison, which I've studied and worked on relentlessly since Tokyo, and it feels so good to see that hard work pay off. I'm so excited to see what we can do in Paris," unquote. Chloe Dygert will be returning for her 3rd Olympic Games. She has already qualified for the road events after winning the 2023 UCI Time Trials World Championships and has now been selected to represent the United States as a member of the Team Pursuit squad for her 3rd consecutive games. Dygert reacted to this achievement by saying, quote, "It's truly a blessing. I am truly blessed to be selected for my 3rd Olympic Games in USA colors. Thankful for those who go above and beyond behind the scenes to make sure I'm at the best I can be on and off the bike. We will see you in Paris," unquote. A newcomer to the Olympic Team Pursuit squad, but already a prominent figure in the cycling world, Kristen Faulkner, has quickly made her mark. The 2024 Pro Road Race National Champion has been one of the most dominant U.S. road racers in recent years, securing 3 Grand Tour stage wins over the past 2 years. USA Cycling invited her to the Colorado Springs Velodrome last year to evaluate her potential for the Team Pursuit program. She then raced at the UCI Track Nations Cup in Adelaide, gaining experience with the Team Pursuit squad. Faulkner only began bike racing in 2020, making her rapid rise in the sport truly exceptional. Faulkner said, quote, "I dreamed of competing in the Olympics ever since I was 8 years old, and I saw it on TV. This is the biggest dream I've ever had, and it's finally come true. I'm beyond excited to represent the USA alongside such a strong group of athletes. I will do my best to bring home a medal for Team USA," unquote. Making her Olympic debut, rising star Olivia Cummins was selected for a spot on the esteemed Team Pursuit squad. While attending Colorado Mesa University full-time, Cummins trained for a spot on the Olympic track cycling team while also competing in collegiate national championships and taking off a win in the Pan American Championships Team Pursuit. She said, quote, "I still don't know how to put it into words what making this Olympic team means to me. The Olympics were never something I ever thought I would be able to achieve, so it was never a big dream of mine growing up. It was something the famous professional athletes did, not me. That isn't about until a year ago when I found myself in a position where making this team became a possibility. I made the Olympics my dream a year ago. I committed fully to it, made sacrifices, and I made it happen. I can't wait to see this dream through this August in Paris, unquote. So that's all for track cycling, but now we need to talk about women's road cycling. The trials for road cycling took place in the beginning of May in Charleston. Taylor Knibb, who is a 26-year-old cyclist from DC, won the women's elite individual time trials, qualifying for the single women's spot in the Olympics. Knibb is the 13th ranked triathlete in the world, and in the trials, she finished with a time of 41 minutes, 54.69 seconds, and at 48.24 kilometers per hour. That's like so fast. I'm like, I could never do that. She was followed closely by Kristen Faulkner, who finished with a time of 42 minutes, 5.88 seconds, and Amber Leon Nebben, who finished with a time of 42 minutes, 44.53 seconds. After finishing in first, Knibb said, quote, "This is like, oh, how did you do? You cross. You hope, you see, and then you have to wait. It's a different process, but I'm always grateful for the opportunity to compete, and I will never take winning for granted," unquote. So now let's talk about mountain biking. Since 2022, the USA Cycling National Team has been vying for international ranking points through the Union Cyclist International, or UCI, with the goal of placing in the top 8 as a nation in the MTB Olympic qualification rankings. Top performance in UCI events over the past 2 years brought the U.S. men into the top 5 of the MTB Olympic qualifications rankings, and the U.S. women into the top 3, qualifying both genders for maximum available quota spots at the Olympic Games, 2 men and 2 women. The 2024 U.S. Olympic mountain bike team rosters includes 2 Tokyo 2020 returning Olympians and 2 first-timers. In the first 3 UCI mountain bike World Cups of the season, this group collectively rode to 6 elite cross-country Olympic podiums, 5 elite short track podiums, and a perfect season in the U23 men's races. The team in reaching peak performance just in time for the world's biggest stage this summer in Paris. Haley Bannon returns to the Olympic team after doubling down with wins in both the short track and cross-country events at the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup in Brazil. The 2024 Pan American champion proved to be at the top of her game and the one to beat, leading the team into her second Olympic Games. For the first time, Sylvia Blanc will take the Olympic stage. The back-to-back U.S. national champion showcased her skills and ability to compete at the highest level over the past 2 years, especially in the opening World Cup round, scoring a silver and 2 bronze medals. Next, we're going to talk about the roster for the women's BMX racing. Yes, this is technically not cycling, but to me, it falls into a similar category, and we're still going to talk about it. So after 2 years of qualifying competitions, it came down to the final few races in May of 2024 to determine the points for individual nominations and team quotas. The 2024 UCI BMX Racing World Championships in Rock Hill was one of the final events for athletes to put their best foot forward in the Olympic qualification process. I'm like saying foot forward, and I'm like, that feels not right because it's like you're on a bike. So I'm like, that's, you put your best wheel forward. How about that? Anyway, so Alice Willoughby and Delaney Vong earned their automatic nominations at the World Championships by placing in the top 3. Willoughby won gold and Vaughn took bronze. When the points were finalized at the beginning of June for Olympic spots, the U.S. managed to secure quota positions for 3 women and 2 men for the Games. Willoughby will be returning to her 4th Olympic Games at 33 years old. She proved that age is just a number and that she is at the peak of her sport by winning her 3rd world title just last month. At Rio 2016, Willoughby became the first U.S. woman to ever win an Olympic silver medal in BMX racing. She pursued gold at Tokyo 2020, but the day did not unfold as she had hoped. This year, she is returning to the Olympics on the hunt for a medal in Paris as the 2024 world champion. This will be the first Olympics for 23-year-old Vaughn, and she has a bright future ahead of her. In 2022, she won the elite women's national title, representing the Stars and Stripes sleeve for the year, and has continued to prove herself as one of the fastest BMX racers in America. 2022 UCI BMX Racing World Champion Felicia Stanza will also be returning to the Olympic Games for a 2nd time. Her first Olympics in Tokyo was bittersweet as she rode to a 4th place finish. She concluded the 2024 World Cup Series finishing 7th in the overall standings, riding in several main events and earning her spot on the Paris Olympic team. Lastly, let's finish the segment by talking about women's BMX freestyle. These athletes competed at the Olympic Qualifier Series in Shanghai and Budapest to fight for that Olympic spot. Hannah Roberts and Paris Venegas made the Olympic team for BMX freestyle. In 2017, at age 17, Roberts became the first ever BMX freestyle world champion at the inaugural UCI World Championships in China. She placed 3rd in 2018 and won the World Championship title again in 2019, where she became the first female ever to land a 360 tail whip in competition. Hannah had a perfect 2019 World Cup season, winning every single World Cup to claim the series titles, and went on to win the Pan Am Championships and National Championships that same season. COVID, put a halt to the BMX freestyle competition calendar, but she came out of the pandemic to win the 2021 UCI World Championships, taking her third world title. She went into Tokyo 2020 as the rider to beat as BMX freestyle made its Olympic debut. After throwing down a killer run, she walked away making history, taking the silver medal. Paris Beningas won the gold medal in BMX freestyle park at the UCI Urban Cycling World Championships in China, with Roberts taking second. Like I said, it was an unreal moment in the history of BMX freestyle, especially for the US. Beningas went on to qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and placed fourth in the sports Olympic debut. This was her redemption year, where she would try to secure an Olympic medal after nearly missing it. So that concludes our show for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, presented to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to our show and leave a positive review and like the videos as well. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you guys once again, and have a wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to